and welcome to the Cocked Dice, the show that brings you new conversions every now and again when I get a chance to do some. Tonight I'm going to be bringing you a short conversion tutorial on how to build this Bloodraven Smash Captain. Obviously yours doesn't have to be a Bloodraven, it can pretty much be any chapter you like, but we'll get on down with it. So, what are you going to need? For this conversion you are going to need the following parts. We have a Phobos Lieutenant from the Shadow Spear set. We have a Thunderhammer from the Vanguard Veterans kit. We have a jump pack. This one is from the Sanguinary Guard kit, but you can use any jump pack you like. I've grabbed a Space Marine Captain's shoulder pad from I'm not quite sure where, and of course a Storm Shield. Again, this one is from the Vanguard Veterans kit. As this guy's going to be part of my Bloodraven force, I'm going to also add chapter markings to his left shoulder. I use these ones, which come from Shapeways. They're little Bloodravens. They just fit out straight over the shoulder. If you want that sort of thing, check out Pop Goes the Monkey on Shapeways. He's got a massive selection of icons and extra parts for GW kits. And it's Shapeways, so it's coming direct from wherever they print your local Shapeways gear, so it's really easy to get hold of and reasonably priced. What else are you going to need? Obviously you're going to need a knife, some clippers, files will be useful, some super glue if you're going to glue any non-plastic parts on, and of course some sort of plastic glue. Now I've already gone round and I've cleaned up all the mold lines. I've just spotted one there. Do that quick scrape down. I always suggest that you clean up your models properly before you start any conversions. It's a lot. So we're going to have him fairly central on the base. I'm going to stick his torso together first. So there's our boy. I'm not going to do any reposing on him. I'm literally just going to whack him on the base. I'm going to pop his body to one side and we'll crack on with the Thunderhammer arm. So Thunderhammer itself has been cleaned up, no conversion on here. I opted for a fairly simple Thunderhammer. Decided against using, I had some Blood Angel ones, but they're from the Terminators and they're a little large, and I wanted them to have a, imagine scale. That's going to sit somewhere back here, like that. Going to take this arm, we need to do two things in this arm. We need to take off the knife. So we're just going to cut straight across here. Now, if you want to save the hand, you do it with a knife. If you want to, you don't care about the hand at all, you can just clip it off. I'm going to try and cut this nice and neatly straight down here. There we go. So now I've retrieved this from under my desk. Here's the arm without the hand. I've done a pretty neat job of that, so we're just going to quickly clean up around the bottom of it here. Now I've been hobbying for a very, very long time and I still cut towards my thumb, which is why my thumbs are covered in cuts. So I'm just going to give this a little sand down with a file. There we go, that's spot on. Once a bit of glue's on there, that'll melt in quite nicely. That's his hand done. The other thing we're going to need to do is shrink this shoulder pad, because I'm going to pop this one on instead. Now this doesn't really fit over the top of it, because they've got these little mini shoulder pads, the Phobos Marines. So if you look at here, we need to just take a little off the sides and the front. And because this is going to be hidden, just going to do this with a pair of clippers, and we're just going to trim it down a little bit at a time all around. So now I've done a first trim of that, I'm just going to test the shoulder pad on it. See if it's sitting nice and neatly on there. See, it's actually sticking out just a little bit. I could do with shaving a bit more off this side here. I'm going to twist the arm around slightly. The arm's sticking out a little bit, but it's lining up pretty well. Try and tuck it right in there. So I'm going to do this with a knife this time, just to trim it off and clean this up a little bit, get rid of some of these edges. Just scrape the knife blade along the model a little bit. And now we've cleaned that up a bit, I'm just going to test it again. There we go, that fits pretty much perfectly inside there. and we can use the new shoulder pad to cover up all the edges so you'll not see them at all. It's a good fit. So now that's cleaned up, we're going to pop the arm straight onto the model, just on the side here. I'm leaving it in exactly the same angle as it was for the stock model. So just a bit of glue around there. Find the hole. And then glue over the top of here, just to make sure we can get it pushed on and it fits nicely. There you go, I'm pretty happy with that placement. It's nice and low. Once we've popped his head in, don't know which way he's going to look yet. I think the actual model is supposed to look, yeah, it's supposed to look that way because that's where the little nub is. I think we might have him looking this way. Yeah, he's stepping forward, so I'll just have to trim. I'll just have to trim this little nub off the back of the helmet here. I'm going to leave the Thunder Hammer off for now, so we've got some time to do the other arm, and I'll pop the Thunder Hammer on later, but we're already getting a bit of a feel for how he fits together like that. So, pop him to one side. And while we're waiting for that to dry, we'll do his other arm. We just need the Lieutenant's left arm. I've got to get my left and right because it's the wrong way around when I'm looking at mirrored. So his bolt gun arm, and we're just going to take this off again at the wrist, and these storm shields from the kit. Oh, let's just not drop it. As you can see, already have a hand on them. So we just need to be able to line that up with the back of his wrist here. That shouldn't be overly difficult. So again, I'm going to use a hobby knife because I like to try and save this bolter if I can. And I'm going to take it just about there at this side of the wrist guard, and then they'll need a little cut in that way. Now we've separated the bolt gun from the arm, we can put the bolt gun to one side. And if you look at this, we just need to do a little bit of tidy up around the wrist here to make sure this has a nice flat surface to stick onto, because it's starting to just pushing out just a little bit there. So we just need to flatten that off so we can get that hand nicely jointed onto this forearm. So again, I'm just going to use a Stanley knife, and I'm just going to tweak this a little bit, clean it up, and try and get rid of that. And there we have it, just cleaned up the end. I've tidied up the end, made sure it's nice and flat, cleaned up the rim as much as I need to, and mainly focused on bits like the edging of his shoulder armour here, as that might be visible from the front model. Next, we're going to glue his left arm onto his body again. Remember I said I'd have him with the shield out a little bit, didn't I? So I'm just going to, if you're looking here, I'm just using that nub to try and get this arm just outwards a little bit without sticking inside. That's about right. Just going to check the back of the model, see if there's anywhere else I can glue. Just going to put a dab of glue down in the end here, just to help that stick. Again, I'm going to pop him to one side, just let him dry up, and hopefully in a few minutes that'll be alright to stick his storm shield on, and we can pop his Thunder Hammer on here and take a look at how he's looking so far. Now, I've got Storm Shield. Now, one thing I've just noticed is this Storm Shield has a round hole and his back has a square peg, so I'm literally just going to pop that off with a pair of clippers. So again, I'll get this glued on while we're waiting. There we have it. So again, he's just going to need to sit and dry for a few minutes, just to make sure we don't nudge him and break him. Okay, now he has had a few minutes to dry. I'm going to stick on his Thunder Hammer hand. Just a little bit of glue on there. Thin that down as much as I can. I'm going to dab a little bit on here, and then we're going to give it a few moments. Because I'm sticking this onto a model that's already built, it just needs a moment or two to just get a little tacky before we try and stick it on. and just check it all the way around, make sure it's in a good position. I'm pretty happy with that. Little twist. That's looking pretty smart to me. We can also stick his Storm Shield arm on here. So again, we're just going to pop a dab of glue on here, nice and thin, and a little bit of glue on here, and give that a few moments to just start melting the plastic away. Now this has had a few moments, I'm just going to pop this on here, just being careful I don't put too much backward pressure on it, because at the moment that's quite thin. That's fitting quite nicely there. And you can see I'm going to have to just do a little bit of filling inside his shoulder there. I'll just pop a little bit of green stuff in there once he's fully dried. Final details to add to this guy, I'm going to pop his knives on the side here. Obviously need to give him a head and give him his shoulder decoration, and I'm going to pop some purity seals on, as he's going to be a highly decorated captain, of course. Now we've got his body done, just deciding his head, so we can have him looking this way, like he's turning to face an opponent. I'm actually going to think I'm going to put him this way to look like he's defending himself with his Storm Shield and about to swing his hammer into action. And there we have it. Pops his head in and he's kind of glaring forwards, looking like he's about to smash. Okay, and there we have it. So I've popped on purity seal around the back of his leg around here. I popped another one on the back of his arm here. And I've just popped his Bloodraven shoulder markings on his shoulder here, just with a tiny blob of gel super glue, which just helps bulk out if there's any oddities in the curvature. So now we're just going to pack this with a little bit of green stuff. Here all we need to do is drop a tiny little bit of green stuff into this gap right back here. Then you need to keep the green stuff wet and just work it in to his shoulder. Yeah, simple as that. To be fair, this is a fairly simple conversion, doesn't need a huge amount of effort. It is mainly a weapon swap and a little bit of a change in the head, and obviously just cool gear. So thank you very much for joining us once again here at Cocked Dice. We will see you again soon. Good night.